Alright then, so I basically stated that, I would basically start to, make this a little more newbie friendly, basically explain, about units and stuff like that. This is where we're going to start doing so. So if you're basically, an older player or experienced player, bear with me, but I gotta, explain stuff to new players here, so that's the sort of thing that's going to happen in this episode here. So, let's load up Mountain Clans, M2, start. And of course, it's an old game, so... Honestly, I'm not even sure why I don't start from the desktop anymore. Some games, probably I could see it being sort of important to cut out a lot of the loading up the game, but this one loads up pretty fast, so whatever. Alright then, let's see here. Got a centaur over here. Got forest elf over here. Got an unknown treasure here, and got this forest elf here. Alright then, so we're just gonna transfer this stuff over here to the Huno. So I'll note that basically going forward, I'm gonna basically try to explain all the units basically in the various factions and their descriptions and stuff like that. So let's start with the heroes I guess I can basically hire.
Alright.
So I'll note that basically in this game, you basically run around with heroes, in a sort of squad-based fashion, and you basically use these heroes to accomplish your goals on the map. Each faction will basically have access to 5 different types of hero types. They'll basically have access to basically a melee hero, a ranged hero, a mage hero, they'll have a flag planter, and then they'll also have the thief. Now, I'll note that basically there is some variation between the heroes between the different factions. I'll note that for the Dwarves, they don't have any sort of horsemen or flying units basically. So their units are very, very slow, and even though the engineer here basically has a movement of 25, it's essentially gonna be outrun by every single other faction leader, so to speak. Notably, usually the King's Guard here, this guy would used to be a flying unit for the other factions, but the Dwarves are basically an exception to this, and basically their guy basically has only 50 movements and he goes very, very slowly. And outside of that, basically there's not a whole lot basically about to say about the heroes. I'll note that basically in this game, each of the different factions basically their heroes here, they basically are basically a very very quick and pace, so to speak. You notice that the King's Guard here, basically the melee hero for Dwarves, he'll have basically lower initiatives than the other faction melee heroes, but at the same time he makes up for it by having more damage than them and more HP. So essentially the sort of thing I'll take away from the Dwarves here versus the other factions. The Dwarves are basically sort of made to be sort of this bulky, slow moving type of faction that is a lot more defensive in nature. But at the same time, these guys basically hit harder, and they basically can take more punishment as a result of their stature, so to speak. And they basically have this sort of ingrained with their characters basically. So you basically have high damaging, high HP units that move very slowly, and very they basically act very slowly. Now I'll note by the Proud Dwarf down here, the flag planter. This guy basically is used to go and plant flags around the map to basically get your resources and stuff like that. Each of the different factions basically has access to one of these guys, and basically their purpose is just to run around and if it's basically a resource basically I want somewhere, for example. So say there's a gold mine basically up here, I can use the flag planter to plant a flag next to that resource, so basically capture for myself. There I can also basically do the same thing. They can plant their flags to capture for their faction, or I can basically send my flag pair up to remove the rod to basically open up to my faction and stuff like that. Alright, so let's just read about these guys' descriptions here a little bit. So, the King's Guard. So, honor guards of the Dwarven Kings. Some are sent on missions, commanding armies as they are formidable combatants. So, basically the Dwarven, melee hero. I'll note that this guy basically is probably the slowest moving hero in the game, with 15 movements. Essentially this guy is a very, very defensive tank, and basically he goes on the front line basically get him. The Huno is basically the engineer type that I'm using right now. And engineers use their crossbows in battle. Their high mobility makes them a good scout. So I'll note that this guy basically is like made to like be like very movable. So basically like I'm using this guy for a simple reason that like he like basically moves around the map a lot easier than like the other like 2 hero types. They like Lore Master of like 50 movement points, like the King's Guard of like 50 movement points. Anyhow, now I'll note by the way that like much like the other like heroes in Dwarven faction, this guy of course moves slower than like the other like heroes in like the other factions. And notably, this guy has 50 initiative, who's actually like as fast as like melee units, so basically other factions most of the time. So this guy's as fast as a zombie, so to speak. He's kind of slow, but whatever. Alright, finally we have the Lore Master. Now, before actually like discuss anything about this guy's description, I want to note this guy has a leader ability basically for the start here called Use Staffs and Scrolls. Nobody in this game, if I want to use like staffs and scrolls, it's usually a good idea to have like a Lore Master or a mage up hero basically to like do so. And these guys will actually be able to use like the scrolls and like the the stays basically find. I didn't keep any from like the last like mission, but if I find any, I might actually do so with like this guy here, maybe in the future. Note that this guy basically has like a different attack than like the other guys as well. So these guys basically have like a source of weapon damage that basically is based on their weapon here. So if I look at like say like the engineer, he basically has like source weapon. And if you look at the Proud Dwarf, or like the King's Dwarf, he basically has weapon, and like you look at the Proud Dwarf, he has like weapon, and eventually the Thief will do weapon. Note that there is like different damage types in this game, and essentially like if you have like say like Earth damage for example on like your Lore Master, this guy will actually inflict like Earth damage on enemies, and this will basically come into play when you basically have like wards and like immunities basically come in, because like some enemies in this game will take like no damage to like Earth damage at all, or some will basically take like no damage initially to Earth damage before like they start taking it. So it's very important to like keep in mind like the source of damage your guys basically have. Alright, so Lore Master. Keeper of the knowledge and customs of the mountain clans. The Lore Master has the ability to use staves and scrolls. So yeah, basically this guy's playing a magic like trinket user basically, so to speak. Here's a description for the Proud Dwarf. The Proud Dwarf has been chosen by the Valkyries to transform the land with magical rods. So notice this guy is very slow like initiative 30, but this guy can actually attack. Now, I will note that there's actually something very similar about simple about the the Proud Dwarf or the Dwarven faction, by the way. I'll note that if you like play with like the Empire, the Legion of the Damned, or like the Undead, all of their like flag planters will be unable to attack like the enemies directly. You'll basically have like the Baroness from like, the Demon faction, for example. They'll basically use like a fear ability on you, which basically causes you to run away. And if you like basically fight against the Banshee of like the Undead faction, the Undead basically Banshee will be able to like paralyze your unit basically in place, so they can't do anything. And then of course there's the Empire like Archangel. The Archangel basically has the ability to heal up your guys in battle, so she's basically like sort of like the acolytes basically. She's like heals up people. But anyhow, basically the Proud Dwarf is very simple because this guy can actually attack like the enemy. So if you want to basically like have like a guy basically do some initial damage to someone, then this guy can basically do so for you. He also has 150 HP, which is not bad for like flag planter. I think all the other guys have like 90 or 100, so he's useful in that front. Alright, so, the Thief. And nobody this will be like the same like, sort of thing basically set for all your guys, but, the Thief is an expendable unit that does not gain levels. Thieves are enrolled to execute various tasks, and if captured, execution will be prompt. So, not much like, the your Dwarven units, this guy basically has like higher HP than normal thieves, and he has basically like higher damage, and he has like, lower initiative than like the like thieves as well. So basically this guy goes around like as you saw basically like the last like episode, he basically steals stuff. He can basically assassinate the leaders, he can basically like poison parties. He can also do more stuff. He basically have the Guildmaster trait, but we didn't pick that up this time, so whatever. Alright, so
alright.
I will note by that these like leaders basically have that come around with you. They'll be able to pick up like guys that like go with you into like the different battles and stuff like that. And you'll basically have like different types of units basically like bring along with you. Usually all of the different factions will basically have access to like a tier 1 like melee unit, so that'd be like the Dwarf or the Dwarven faction here. So tougher and reliable, when placed in the front row, they protect frail units in the back row. So much like everything else, the Dwarven faction, this guy moves fairly slowly, but he has a lot more HP to make up for it, as well as like damage. I'll note that notably the other like faction units will have like only 25 damage on other 2 units, and they'll have like 15 initiative. So essentially this guy like he moves like slower, but he hits harder, and he of course has like a lot more HP to make up for the fact he's a lot slower as well. Now, on the bar as well, you also have access to, like, you know, another ultimate unit as well. Usually you'll have, like, access to, like, a giant unit like this, like over here. So here's the Hill Giant. The Hill Giant sweeps a tree at the foes of the clans, wounding them immensely. So I never really showed this guy off, but note that this guy basically has earth source damage piece over here, so if he basically, like, you know, attacks the unit, he'll basically inflict earth damage. Much like the Dwarves, he has basically slow initiative, but, you know, he has lots of damage to make up for it, and good XP. We're gonna throw him right there. And I can actually make use of, like, one more unit basically over here in this, like, line here, so let's see here. I never really got to show off the Tenderfoot, by the way, for, like, the, like, you know, the last, like, go of it. But, if I build a Tenderfoot... Alright, so if I want to, I could get the Tenderfoot to, you know, show off the Alchemist, I guess, at this point. Or the Bear's Den. Why not? Let's actually get ourselves access to, like, the Novice bases, so we can show off, like, the Alchemist, I guess. I'll note, by the way, I don't usually show, like, play with the Novices, by the way, in this game, because I find that they're a little bit weak. So to speak, but, you know, we'll give ourselves a Tenderfoot. So note the Tenderfoot is basically fragile and peaceful in nature. The Tenderfoot brews potions to increase the damage of all ally units in battle. So sort of go along with, like, the theme of, like, damage in like, you know, the, like, Dwarven army. This guy basically has very high initiative, but, you know, he basically makes up for it by giving you guys basically a damage boost. So this guy doesn't actually inflict any damage on, like, your, like, you know, enemy itself, but he basically boosts up, like, the damage of, like, your, like, own units, so they do more damage themselves. So let's just throw him in, like, the back row over here. Now, this is actually something notable about the Dwarves, by the way. Unlike the other, like, you know, 3 factions that basically have, like, you know, sort of casters on the back line that basically hit, like, all the foes, the Dwarves actually have access to the Tenderfoot, and essentially how basically the Dwarves basically work is that they actually, like, you know, do more damage with, like, the Tenderfoot in a realm. So I can basically buff up, like, you know, Huno here, basically. So right now this guy's doing, like, 55 damage. If I basically buff him up by, like, you know, 25 damage basically right there, he'll inflict, like, you know, well, let's just see here. He inflicts, like, I guess, like, you know, about 12 or 13 more damage basically with, like, you know, the Tenderfoot's help. I'll note, by the way, I buff up the Hill Giant, he'll do, like, you know, as you can see here, he's got, like, 60, so he basically does, like, a full 15. If I basically buff of his Dwarf here, he basically get, like, you know, a measly amount of, like, you know, damage there. He only get, like, you know, well, he's only got, like, a third, basically, like, you know, of, like, you know, 25, so it'd be, like, you know, 7 or 8 basically gets buffed up. Now, another reason this guy will, like, you know, turn into a novice when he basically, like, you know, gets his structure basically built, so hopefully we'll be able to show that off, but, you know, something to note basically about, like, the Dwarves basically is that, like, you know, they don't really have, like, any, like, sort of, like, caster type of units early on. And we're, like, basically, say, like, the Empire, the Undead, and, like, and the Demons, they can basically, like, you know, have, like, a sort of, like, caster on the back line, like a Mage or, you know, a Cantor or something like that, to basically blast up your foes. The Dwarves basically don't get that initially. They do eventually actually get access to it, but, you know, not right away is a thing. Actually, to sort of, like, go on to it, by the way, just to throw it out there, I'll note that basically the Dwarves, they have access to, like, you know, something called a Mountaineer, and, like, their, like, warrior, like, thing right here. When you actually get access to the Mountaineer, these guys actually will hit, like, all, like, the foes they see in like, the, like, you know, battle line for, like, you know, the enemy. So, essentially, like, they're, like, you know, casters basically come a little bit later with, like, the warrior tree, or if you basically want to, you can, like, get, like, you know, the, like, you know, flame casters, basically from, like, the forge tree over here. I'm actually show off the Mountaineer in this one just to show it off, but whatever. I know the Dwarves basically have, like, a lot better, like, you know, leaf fires basically, but over here, so that'll be, like, what we're gonna aim for, like, in the future, but, you know, whatever. Alright, so basically there's, like, my, like, army basically to go out with, by the way, and, like, do stuff, so let's take a break from explaining stuff and, like, you know, let's just go fight something.
Your request?
This forest elf looks like a good target, so let's go after him. So here's the forest elf. Rangers of the Elven Realms. The forest elves survey the frontiers against intruders. So basically you can see this guy's like 100 HP. So elves basically in this game are very, very fast. They also tend to inflict fairly good damage, so basically this guy, like, you know, inflicts like 40 damage. This is 70, so not bad. You probably went after the Hill Giant here, which is fine by me, so let's buff up him. And there we go. You know, thinking about it, this guy might have, like, the more damage, by the way, but, you know, it'd probably be smarter to, like, buff up one of the other guys here, like, next time, because, like, you know, This guy always go like last basically in my battle line, so to speak, so it's like not a good idea to really buff up him usually, I think. Or is that done? We get Potion of Restoration being at elf up, so that's fine by me. And I guess we'll just go up here with him. Now, nobly this like Hill Giant got a little bit injured there, but you know, it's not nothing like too like dastardly, so whatever. Alright, so I'll note that for like the other like units that the Dwarves basically have access to, they also have access to the Axe Thrower over here. So the Axe Thrower is basically their ranged unit. The Axe Thrower can hurl its axes at any unit in the enemy party. This guy will be upgraded to a crossbowman later on, but initially early on he does fairly standard damage, 25 damage tier, 4 initiative, 65 HP. I believe arch units for the other faction are usually a lot faster than the units, so this guy's actually considerably a lot slower than the other faction units. I believe they usually have 60 initiative rangers of the other factions, or 70 initiative, and they basically have very similar damage output of well, actually they'll have 15 damage. This guy's 25, so this guy has a lot more damage than those other guys, but basically has very slow initiative compared to him. And I actually consider the Axe Thrower to be kind of a weak fairy unit early on, because he basically is as fast as a mage unit for the most part, and it's not very useful for your purpose, so whatever. Now the part down here is the bear. The bear has been domesticated by the mountaineers to guard the mountain clans and urban frontiers. So basically it's like an advanced unit to get for the mountain clan. This guy basically has access to good damage. He gets very high initiative. So basically one of our fastest units is basically this double tier unit right here. Not a bad thing to basically get later on, but that'll be for more defensive purposes than anything else. Alright, so hopefully it didn't take too much time. It probably took me about 15 minutes to explain everything there, but whatever. I'll note that basically each of the other factions will basically have their own things as well. So we're going by city development basically by the way right here. I'll note that basically you break down all units basically into different sort of categories here. So you basically have fighter units, you have basically mage units, you have basically ranged attack units, and you have support units. So basically the melee units are basically the guys who are on the front lines. Your mage units are basically the guys in the back lines, so that's usually the caster, but in the case of the dwarf, this guy is a novice basically over here. You have a ranged attack units, which are basically archers and stuff like that, and you have support units. And I'll note by the way for support units, they usually always basically are how can I put this? They usually are always built to melee stuff, but this guy here by the way, when I actually get him strong enough, you actually get turned into a tempest giant, or into the ice giant here. This guy here basically attacks all the units in the enemy field, so you can basically have a double a very huge mage basically type of guy for these guys right here, which is very interesting about the dwarves. Alright, that's gonna be it for my explanation at this point. I don't think we'll be doing more explanations for the rest of this episode, so let's just get to it. Alright, so I offer you a chance to flee while you still live. Alright, so in his youth, this mighty lord once stood fast against an army from hell, and singly defended, read this basically, but this guy's a mage lord, currently at war with him. He might like me a little bit later, but for now, it's just basically our enemy, I guess. So here's basically the least of a damn guy, basically will purify you through fire. So basically here's another warrior lord for the demons. Now, I'm not sure by the way, but I believe it's possible to sort of ally with the Empire in this mission. But I think to do so, you actually have to be sort of friends with him in the last mission. Possibly. Or maybe just randomly do it, who knows. But I sort of had to fight those guys to win anyways, so I had to do whatever happened anyways, so whatever.
Alright!
Alright, so note this guy basically heals up quite a bit, but not fully, so oh well, but whatever. Alright, note that for gold here, I'll be using that basically initially to level up my guys structures and stuff like that, so let's just level up basically this here first, I think. I think the novice is basically the fastest to level up here, because it basically got oh no, it's basically gonna be the Axe Thrower, then the dwarf, then the hill giant. Yeah, look at that. Alright, so I guess we'll actually get the dwarf basically stuff basically first. So let's go get ourselves a brewery base again. The whole purpose of getting is basically both so my warrior basically gets around to he'll basically level up, so hooray for that.
Alright! Forward, lads!
Alright, so here's a centaur. Mythical creatures of the forest. Centaurs are ferocious fighters. So, note this is basically like a double tier, like, you know, you're basically right here, I think, to centaur. He basically has access to, like, you know, 40 damage basically for attacking with. Fairly good initiative. Alright, so let's buff up, let's see here. You're gonna do 55, you're gonna do 60, you're gonna do 30. I figure we're gonna get a full round basically attacks this guy here, so let's buff up this guy. Yeah, he goes after my novice back here, this guy, so well, that happens. Alright, so there's some experience for my novice there. We get some good experience for my guy back here. There's a life potion, I'm happy with picking that up now. Okay, there's a centaur lance over here, so that'll be fun to fight at some point, but whatever. Let's get this guy over here, we'll basically go up this, you know, way when we get around to it. Yeah, we got like no gold or anything like that. Although basically early on right now we don't have like any mana or like gold really to like, you know, play with, so. Until I basically like, you know, get access to like more, we'll be have very like limited like, you know, moonstone or like gold basically income at the moment. So.
Forward, lads!
Like this guy over here, I guess. Let's move up the floor this time around. So yeah, look at that. Boosting up this guy will actually like bring it down to like the dwarf could possibly kill this guy immediately, so. We'll probably just buff up Kuno basically in the future. For the most part. Alright, so now basically up here we have access to like an alchemist up here. And apparently a lizardman over here. We got an alchemist over here, which is nice, so basically fine, but whatever. There's our gold mine, by the way, we'll go get that very soon enough, but whatever. Alright, this guy basically has, like, you know, lost a little bit of XP here, so. Let's just, like, you know, make our way over here and I'll hit this guy next turn, I guess. So I'll be applying with him. So I'll fight this lizard man over here.
Forward, lads!
Alright, so here's like a beefier unit basically to fight. Here's the lizard man. Inhabitants of marshlands. Lizard men are often feed upon the flesh of humans. So it's a fairly high damage unit, by the way, but you know, we should be able to take him out, I think, before there's a chance to kill off this guy here, so that's fine. I will boost up this guy because, like, you know, he's gonna go for a full round before like, he dies, so that's fine. Oh, we missed. He's definitely gonna go for a full round. Ouch! Well, he hit at least. Boost up him. Ouch. Alright, down it goes. We got some good experience with my guys here. Getting closer and closer to my warrior level up, that's nice to see. Alright, this is our throw out there. I'll note that because this guy leveled up, he actually has actually leadership 4. So basically now I have like a bigger army than before. Leadership ties into how, like, how my guys have around, so. It's nice having people apparently to play with, you know. Alright, so here's basically an alchemist, by the way. I can go up here to like to buy stuff or sell off stuff if I want to. We're just gonna sell out the sapphire as well as like, you know, this like, you know, ruby here. That'll give me a little bit of money basically to play around with basically. And I'm not sure I want to basically send him at this point to start, you know, start around, so. I'm not probably not as familiar with this map as it is like, you know, the other like Gordon, like, you know, first mission map, so. Let's go up this way, I guess. If I have to, I'll drop one of these potions on this guy here to keep him alive, but you know, whatever. Let's see here. At this point, let's get ourselves to, like, you know, upgrade the laboratory for the novice here. So let's build that right there. Yeah, I know about when you actually get these upgrades, it builds a building on the map like this, so. There's a laboratory.
Your request?
I'm sending over here. There's a potion of striking. Interesting, there's a marble gargoyle over here. So, I am interested in fighting this at some point, but you know, he's definitely gonna kill a novice basically back here. So I'm gonna leave him alone, I guess, for now. Yeah, we can't get to it, so whatever. There's a barbarian and a bear basically up in this direction, apparently. There's a magical spells from this guy over here, apparently. Yeah, I can't get by this guy, by the way, so... Let's go this way to explore, I guess. Oh, there's an elven ranger, so there's like, you know, an elf, like, you know, archer type. At some point I'll have to build like the magic tower at some point, so let's get the magic tower now, I guess. Get that now. And while we're basically out, let's get ourselves access to the temple, so we can basically heal my guys if we need to. Oh, there's another griffin over there.
All right.
Now, no problem with these guys up here are gonna definitely kill a novice, or like the, you know, the tenderfoot basically up here if I go after him. So, I'm sort of debating if it's a good idea to do so. Oh, I forgot to put on the, like, the tome here, by the way, so... There we go, now I can go a little faster. I think I'm gonna leave these guys alone because I don't want to get my guy killed, so... I'll probably go after his griffin over here, I think. Let's drop that on that guy right here before he doesn't get killed. Now let's take him on. Boost up him. So yeah, basically it was a griffin, by the way. So griffins live in the realms of the elves, often used as mounts. They're a serious threat when encountering battle. So basically it's like the mountain for like the elven warriors, by the way. So basically, like, you know, 200 HP, high damage, good initiative. Yeah, lots of damage on him. Let's boost up him. If this guy misses, this guy will easily be able to kill him if I'm one shot at least, so... Basically, this guy, like, you know, he's got at least, like, enough damage how to hit this guy, so... That's why I boost up the dwarf there. Yep, 8 experience to level up this guy. Now, I don't bother like these, like, double, like, you know, giant units, but basically they take a long time to level up, but, you know, whatever. That's done. I probably want to take over this, like, Elven City when we get around to it, but whatever. We'll get to it when we get to it. Let's see here. I want to get access to... Probably at this point I want to build a mountain peak for, like, the rock giant here, so... We'll get this basically done. Oh, we already, like, you know, got our thing built already, so whatever. So we'll build up our thing now. There's a mountain peak for, like, you know, the giant upgrade.
Your request?
There's a scroll. Yeah, I really have to go heal up that mountain giant before I can do anything else, I guess, so...
Alright.
We'll send this guy basically back to, like, the capital, I guess, at this point, to heal up. Let's go in here. Quick bit of a heal for this guy here, so, you know, heal up. Now, I should probably note, by the way, when you're actually healing up these, like, units, basically in your like, you know, party, it basically is very cheap initially to, like, you know, heal up and revive, like, you know, cheap, like, level 1 units. But as they get, like, level them up and stuff like that, they actually get, like, more and more expensive basically to, like, get, so... Right now, it really behooves me to, like, you know, come back to, like, you know, resurrect these guys if we need to, because, like, you know, it keeps them alive a lot longer.
Forward, lads!
Alright, so, here's the Centaur Lancer. So mythical creature of the forest, sets of lances to protect the forest against hostile invaders. This guy's a lot more HP than like, the center, like, the regular center of like the bow and arrow. And it's like more damage as well, so a lot more like, fierce this guy. But he can only attack Jason Hughes, which is like, great. I probably still want to take this guy out first, by the way, but what we're doing now will be a thing, right? Ooh, he missed! Great, so this guy might live, basically, for his fight here. Ah! Alright, so, let's boost up you. Well, he takes an air hit there, that's fine. You're downed. Oh! We almost killed this guy off in a shot there, but whatever. Nice miss. Oh! I missed. Alright, so there's some level ups. You basically have access to like the novice here, so the magical plus in the novice increases the damage of 1 ally unit in battle, so another way to basically get these guys upgraded, they like get improved in like, some sort of like, way. Basically the novice is basically like a clear upgrade in like, HP, the ability to like, boost up guys by like 50% as opposed to 25%. So clearly better. And you got the warrior here basically as like, as opposed to like 150 HP as 200 now, he has basically like, same initiative, but a lot more damage basically, like, 25 more damage basically. And this guy got very injured again, but whatever, that's fine. Now, not by like the main leader guy here. Who knows? It's gonna take a long time because he's up to level 4, but whatever. At least he's like getting there. So that's out of the way now. So awesome. Let's get the guild built, I guess.
Your request?
Let's get back here with you. Just like, quickly heal this busy up. I'm gonna drop off the scrolls here, I think, in like my capital, because I'll probably build like a mage lord at some point to like, pick him up. Well, do I really want a mage lord? Here's the thing, right? I'll probably put this basically in the mage lord basically in like this city over here when I get around to it, so that'll be the plan for that. But whatever.
Alright.
Let's figure our way out here a little bit. We'll talk these elves basically like next term to be fine by me, so whatever. Thinking about, by the way, I actually don't have access to this runestone mana, and to get access to it I have to plant a flag, so let's actually go to my like capital or get a pro dwarf. So let's plan this guy basically out to like quickly like plant a flag.
By the ancestors.
We'll send him out over here.
Alright.
I'll use this guy to take off the city over here, I guess, so I'll be fine with him. Everyone's basically healed up here. Yeah, I don't want to use pushing these guys right here, so let's take them on.
Forward, lad!
Ouch, this guy takes a hit, but that's fine. Let's boost up. Now, no Blade of War, basically it's like, almost as hard as like the Mountain Giant at this point, but he's still gonna do like more damage when I basically buff him up. But you know what? I think we'll go for like, basically here. I want to make sure I kill off these like archers back here, so kill off him. I mean, it basically like, kill him off anyway, so that's fine. So there we go. We basically got some nice experience for killing off the elves in here. I take the city. Oh, by the eternity tree, life will prevail. Alright, so there we go. We basically took over like, this like the settlement right here. I'll drop off the scrolls here because I'll basically build a mage lord here at some point to like, do stuff, so that's fine. I think I stay in here, we'll basically go up to Griffin's basically next time. Probably this Griffin has an elf ranger with him, so that'll be fun, but whatever. I'm gonna take him on. And I got about 10 more minutes basically to like, play this episode 4, so let's just do so. We can hear the lords in the background, but what they're doing exactly, I'm not really sure, so whatever. I probably want to heal this guy up because it'll take a little bit of damage from like that, like, you know, having Arch over here. So... no, by the way, at this point, this guy has, like, you know, he's only missing, like, you know, 29 HP, but because basically, like, you know, he's a little, like, you know, 2 unit, it basically got to be double the amount to, like, heal him. But whatever.
Alright!
Let's take on the Griffin, and the, you know, Archer with him. So yeah, a little bit of damage to him there, but whatever, it's fine. Actually, do we really need to buff up him? That's probably a mistake on my part, by the way, but whatever. Hit this guy. Oh, we missed him as well. That's gonna suck. Buff up him. So he got a little bit injured there, that hill giant, but whatever, he still survived. 2 bears up here. That'll be interesting to fight.
By the ancestors.
The flag is coming. It's a-coming. I got the money bits to make it with, so that's fine. Alright, let's just plant the flag right here. The whole purpose of planting this flag right here, by the way, is just so I can get access to Runestone mana for like later, so now we'll actually have some, like, you know, casting spell type of mana, basically. And
Your request?
these guys here have to go back, basically heal up, I guess, so we'll get with them. Ah, why not? Let's go after these bears up here. I bet we can probably take on the bears. That's fine by me. So treasure up there, by the way. We'll go get that soon.
Of course. Your request?
Alright, these guys over here are gonna, like, you know, backtrack a little bit. Let's go over here with, like, my prod dwarf. I just want to keep them away from, like, the trout because there's always a possibility of, like, an enemy, like, you know, hero we see out here, so we'll watch out for that. There's a potion of restoration right there, so cool. Interesting, so now I'm like, you know, village over here. I could actually go attack those guys, by the way, over there. My novice is gonna take a beating, like, go after him, but, you know. It's in my interest basically to take out this zone over here, I guess, at some point earlier, so we'll go after him. So let's go after these guys here. We're just gonna boost up, let's see here. So nobody of these guys, they have armor because they're inside of summit, so they're gonna take reduced damage from, like, guys like this here. The question is, will this guy basically take, like, you know, 10 less damage basically if I attack him with, like, the, like, you know, this guy here? Let's test that, I guess. So let's see if this guy can, like, basically one-shot the elephant archer here. He can, so that's fine. Him. Well, I would have been able to, like, to one-shot this guy, like, you know, if we got the chance first, but whatever. There's some experience for my guys there. We'll attack the elephant range basically inside, like, next turn, I guess, that's fine.
Of course.
Oh, I can use this, like, prod dwarf to, like, explore around if I need to, so we'll somehow see him, like, out this way, I guess.
Your request?
Alright, let's have this guy basically attack over here, I guess, so they might get my, like, you know, novice back here, these, like, you know, rangers, but I should be able to, like, take them out before I do, so let's just go and buff up, well, it doesn't really matter who I buff up, so buff up him. Pop. Oh, he missed. There we go, a little bit more experience. These guys are like, you know, getting stronger. Oh, you know, this guy doesn't take that much level up to, like, you know, experience level up to, like, level 3, so he will basically get to, like, his, like, first form very, very fast. It's gonna take, like, you know, this is 115 apparently, so that's to me even faster, but whatever. Alright, so I've learned that our objective, the city of Norden, is deep in barbarian territory. So we'll be attacking barbarians apparently in the future. But there we go, we basically cover this little island right here. Alright, let's see here. I could go after those rangers right there, those guys right there, I guess, so...
Your request?
Let's just quickly heal up this guy here. And let's get rid of these bears right here, I guess, so... We'll attack right here. Let's just buff up this guy here. Nice miss. You're dead. There we go, wiped him out. Now I'm trying to think if I should go after this marble gargoyle over here. The thing about this marble gargoyle is I could probably, like, you know, two-shot my, like, you know, my novice is a thing.
Of course.
But whatever. Let's get you up here. You know, I do have a 450, like, you know, gold at this point. Now, I never actually really showed this off, basically, like, you know, the last, like, you know, mission because I didn't really need to, but, you know, there is actually a spell that, like, you know, basically, like, it moves, like, you know, penalty for, like, moving on water. That'll be, like, useful for, like, you know, this guy here if I'm gonna use an explorer out here, so we'll basically, like, cast on him and can move, like, far, basically, in this direction, so we'll do that for him. Actually, to be honest, I should send a thief basically do it instead, but whatever. And you know what? I really should use a thief, so...
By the ancestors.
This is gonna be a little bit of a waste basically of money, but you know, I just want to basically, like, you know, have a little bit of a buffer to, like, see what's around me, so... We're gonna get ourselves a thief here. And the whole purpose for this guy is to explore in this direction over here, so... I'm just gonna drop out of my city here. We'll cast Securing on him, basically so there's no repellent water. I was gonna have this guy basically go this way to, like, you know, look around basically into, like, the water here. We'll do it with him.
Alright.
You know, I'm thinking about going after this bear over here, by the way. Because I won't, like, be able to hit my novice in the back, and I'll basically be able to heal him up a little bit more, so... What to do? Ah, why not? Let's just go after Marble Girl. I want to get his stuff right here, so... Let's kill him. So, I've noted that basically I have ourselves an imp and a Marble Gargoyle over here. So, imps are lesser servitors or demons, sent by their masters to carry out their bidding. Essentially, it's like the weakest unit in the game, by the way. It's just got, like, you know, 25 damage, it's got, like, a free initiative. So very, very slow, very, very, like, you know, easy to kill. This guy, though, incredibly resistant to damage. The Marble Gargoyle can face any unit in battle. So, this guy's high initiative, so basically it's an arch unit. Basically, it's like, you know, massive, like, you know, damage, so basically, like, you know, he's gonna, like, two-shot this guy easily, but whatever. I think we're gonna possibly take this guy out, so we're gonna try to. 1, 2, and... Alright, so yeah, there goes the novice, but, you know, basically, like, you know, we'll take this guy out, I guess, and I'll be fine with it, I guess. Let's take out him. Alright, so there's our experience for killing off this guy here. No experience for a novice, but, you know, this guy gets at least fairly close to where he needs to go. Now I'm gonna basically get the treasure this guy had behind him, so that's fine.
By the ancestors.
What do you want?
cast the firing base on this guy again. So we go like this over here a little bit. Interesting, there's a mermaid and some like stuff out there, I guess. Not bad. I might want to bring that back, you know, to my guys apparently. Whatever, let's just go this way a little bit. More treasure. Interesting.
All right.
Alright, not bad. Some more stuff with this guy right here.
By the ancestors.
Let's just send this guy basically up in this direction. I guess to look around, I guess. So we'll do it with him. And you can see like there's a little water basically on this map. So I'm not that part of the reason I like, you know, did go for banners based on my like, you know, hero here, by the way. Like, you know,
Your request?
I went for arcane knowledge basically instead. Because I have the total of 7 wounds, I don't have to constantly like, you know, be constantly like, Safari on this guy here, which basically stays in a lot of Moonstone mana, so we're basically like, you know, benefiting a lot from his total of 7 wins basically for like this, like, you know, playthrough, so to speak. We're just gonna sell stuff here. I'll keep the ruby for now because that might be useful to sell off in like the next, like, you know, playthrough, so whatever.
Your request?
I can't get back to the city right away, so let's go over here, I guess. I'll heal and revive my guy next turn, I'll be fine, so, you know, let's go how it is.
What do you want?
Let's go grab this. There's a life potion. I forgot to cast the fairy on this guy here apparently, by the way, so
By the ancestors.
before I forget, let's cast on this guy here, I guess. I'll send this guy basically up like so. By the way, there's a kraken out in the middle of nowhere.
What do you want?
All right.
Let's get these guys in here. We'll basically like, you know, resurrect this guy, so 200 gold. Give him a quick heal. Nap this base over here, Bronze Spring. And look at that, there's another like elven summit over here, with an elf princess apparently inside. An elven sanctuary, and a griffin ranger over here. We got ourselves a named griffin over here apparently, so that's interesting. Now, I forget what it is basically, but I believe the Elven Princess, by the way, she can actually cast spells like all your troops, basically, so... Area of the Elven lands, the princess is called upon to protect her realm against invaders. So basically she's like a superpower, like, you know, lore master, basically. She does, like, you know, earth damage to, like, everyone for 40 damage, so... Pretty powerful. Alright, let's see here. Let's boost up... you. You take a hit, but it's fine. You're gonna go after him. You're gonna go after him. There's like the earth fall right there, by the way. Hit him. I don't think I can kill her before she kills off the novice, so we'll focus on basically killing off this guy first. You kill off my Dryad apparently, so that sucks, but well. You're down. Oh, we missed! So it's painful, but this is what Elven Princess is basically all about. So, it's a good experience for these guys, I guess, right here, so whatever. Self-guard. Ugh, you attack us like savages. You are no different than the inhabitants of this realm. Regions. Ugh. So, that was painful, but whatever. Basically took out, like, you know, enough there, I guess. Let's revive him. And we'll actually drop this on this guy now. It gets expensive, by the way, like, you know, reviving my guys over and over again, but whatever. We'll do like that for now.
Of course. All right.
And you know what? We've actually gone for like almost 50 minutes at this point, so we'll basically, like, you know, let's conclude this episode at this point, I guess, right now. So alright. We basically, like, you know, expanded, like, you know, to 3 different, like, cities with our, like, mountain plans, like, you know, start here, not bad. Actually I have a nice little buffer to, like, see, like, you know, where basically guys can come in this direction over here, which is nice. Note, by the way, I do know where, like, the enemy lords basically are on this map, so note the Empire's basically, like, right here, which is basically, you know, halfway between, like, our destination up here, and Legion of Damn basically over here, like, this, like, you know, part of the map over here. So, we're just gonna save it here, I guess. So this would be like Mountain Clan save 101 because, like, you know, new, like, you know, saves and stuff like that. So that's done. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next one, but for now, take care.